Pray for Judge David Bunnings to repent.
Dozens of protesters show up at a federal judge's home pleading for him to release Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis from jail. A friend of a man killed in a Jessamine County crash tells us how he should be remembered. And Lexington police investigated an unusual crash tonight involving a horse.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good evening to you. Tonight we are tracking multiple breaking stories. We begin in Lexington, where police say a man was rushed to the hospital after being shot near the UK campus. It happened just before 9:30 tonight in the parking lot of Dairy Queen on Virginia Avenue. Lexington police say they were first called for a report of shots fired. Then they found shell casings in the parking lot. They say they found the injured man a short time later outside a gas station on South Broadway. Police say they're still trying to figure out what led to that shooting.
We did recover a bag of marijuana. Still investigating as to whether or not that has any connection to the shooting.
Police say the shooting victim was taken to UK hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. So far, they have not made any arrests. Police say they alerted UK to the shooting since it happened so close to campus. In Georgetown, police have blocked off an area because of a reported standoff. It is happening near the intersection of North Broadway and Penn Avenue. This is a live look at that area. So far, police have not given us any details about exactly what's going on. But as you can see, they have closed off that area and they have asked people to stay away. If we get more information, we will certainly pass it along to you. And in eastern Kentucky, firefighters are on the scene of a large fire in downtown Paintsville. This is eyewitness video of that fire. It started a few hours ago at Spare Time Bowling Lanes on Broadway Street in Paintsville. The fire then spread to a nearby apartment building, which had already been evacuated. Several fire departments are on the scene. No injuries have been reported. Keep checking WKYT.com for updates on all of these breaking news stories. Attorneys for Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis are making another attempt to get her out of jail. This as dozens of protesters gathered outside the home of the federal judge who sent her there. This afternoon, Davis's attorneys filed an emergency motion to the U.S. Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals. The filing asked for Governor Beshear to accommodate her religious conviction and not make her issue licenses to same-sex couples. Davis's attorneys met with her again this afternoon in the Carter County Detention Center. They said she's in good spirits and was brought to tears when hearing that so many people were praying for her. Another rally will be held outside the jail tomorrow. It's expected to include presidential candidate Mike Huckabee. But protesters showed up at federal judge David Bunnings' Campbell County home this afternoon, calling him a tyrant for sending Davis to jail. Garrett Weimer has our top story at 11.
Police cars and protesters lined the streets, turning this northern Kentucky neighborhood into quite a sight to see Monday afternoon.
Well, we're out here having church in front of the judge's home.
A group of a few dozen battled the heat for hours.
Pray for Judge David Bunnings to repent.
First passing out flyers asking Judge Bunnings' neighbors to pray for him to let Kim Davis out of jail. Then holding signs and singing outside his home.
Kim Davis is unlawfully being held in jail right now and being prevented from doing her job.
Several neighbors I spoke with did not want to talk on camera for safety reasons, but they tell me they thought protesters crossed the line by coming out here in front of the federal judge's home. But folks in the group here say they made their point. Ever since Davis was locked up at the Carter County Detention Center last week, we've seen signs from her supporters calling Judge Bunnings a tyrant. They say they wanted to bring that message to his neighborhood.
Kim is not alone. She is not alone. Kim is not forgotten. We will continue to pray. We will continue to educate, and we will continue to bring awareness to the judge and to everybody else what's going on until Kim Davis is free and back to doing her job.
Until then, while Davis remains in jail, Zastro says their work is not done. In Fort Thomas, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
About 100 people gathered outside the Carter County Detention Center this afternoon for what was called the Million Christian March on social media. People prayed, sang, and chanted in support of Kim Davis. They called for her to be freed and for laws to be changed to accommodate her religious beliefs.
The law needs to have reasonable accommodations for people like Kim Davis. to not do these same-sex marriages.
As we mentioned, another rally is planned outside the jail tomorrow afternoon, and it is expected to include presidential candidate Mike Huckabee. Because of the extra traffic expected due to the rally, Carter County school leaders are helping police by keeping the 5 schools closest to the jail closed tomorrow. Those schools are East Carter High, East Carter Middle, and Pritchard, Heritage, and Star Elementary schools. New tonight, a friend of a man killed in a Jessamine County crash is being remembered. Rusty Johnson died yesterday on US 27 when an SUV crossed the center line and hit his truck. Investigators say the daughter of Johnson's fiancee, 5-year-old Lauren Osland, also died, along with the driver of the SUV, 51-year-old Robbie Chaffins. Friends say Johnson's fiancee, Rachel, and her young son are battling serious injuries at UK Hospital. One of Johnson's friends says Johnson was one of the nicest people he's met.
He would do anything for you. He really would. He's one of those rare people. And I know people say that a lot, but he was one of the rare ones. He had patience like nobody's business. He really did. And he was the sweetest, kindest person ever. Always had a smile on his face.
That man says he had made plans with Johnson and his family to have a cookout last night. Police say they believe the driver of the SUV may have been distracted at the time of that crash. New tonight, a man is recovering after being shot in Danville. Police say around 2:30 this afternoon, a man walked up to them near the corner of South 3rd and Jacob Streets and said he had been shot nearby. Danville police say he had a gunshot wound to his left hand. The victim was taken to a Danville hospital for treatment. Police have not released any information about possible suspects or what they think may have led to that shooting. Also in Danville, police think a serial robber could be targeting the city's hotels. Police say in the last 2 weeks, the Super 8, Comfort Suites, and Hampton Inn hotels have all been robbed. Police say in each case, a light-skinned man in a dark hoodie wearing a blue bandana over his face either shows a weapon or implies one. Police say the man got away with money during 2 of the robberies but left empty-handed from Comfort Suites. Well, a steamy start to September continued on this Labor Day, and it looks like we'll have one more day of this summer-like weather. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has an early look now at your forecast. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Amber. Yeah, a lot of folks out there sweating it out over our Labor Day weekend. Late on this Labor Day, thermometers are slowly dropping off, but we do have some much cooler air on the way later this week. Right now, a lot of low and mid-70s showing up into most of central and eastern Kentucky. A look back at our Labor Day, Pam Wright, weather watcher down into Danville, with this beautiful sky that was out there with some of those sun's rays poking in behind the clouds. Check out this shot out of Jessamine County. Our weather watcher there, one of our weather watchers, Neil Noah, showing all the birds that are lining up. Hitchcock, anyone? We look out across central and eastern Kentucky as of now. Nothing that is going on. Broaden out the view a little bit. A little cloud cover off to our west. Now we throw the fronts into the mix and we focus on what's going on across the Plain States. See all the showers and storms now creeping into parts of Kansas and Missouri. That will get into town over the next couple of days, especially Wednesday into Thursday. Front number 2 that is across the Plain States has a big blast of fall air. That will come in behind the rain and thunderstorms. And Amber, that is welcome news to a lot of folks who have been high and dry, at least their yards have been lately, and also sweating it out with those temperatures around 90 for the past several days. We will track a lot of changes on a new hour-by-hour forecast here in just a few minutes.
Chris, we'll see you then. Thank you. New tonight, 2 men were injured when police say their ATV crashed in Breathitt County. Jackson police say it happened late this afternoon along Wolverine Road. They're still investigating what led to the crash. Police say one of the injured men was airlifted to a hospital in Pikeville with serious head injuries. The other was taken to a hospital in Jackson. Their conditions are not known tonight. Also new tonight, Lexington police are investigating a crash involving a horse. It happened just before 9 tonight on Ironworks Pike near Russell Cave Road. Police say they received a call about a horse loose from a farm, and moments later they say a truck hit that horse. The horse survived the crash, but police say it later had to be put down because of a broken leg. Police say the driver of that truck was not injured. This afternoon, firefighters battled an unusual fire in Madison County. The Red Lake Fire Department shared these pictures of a silo fire off Speedwell Road. Firefighters say they fought the fire by drowning it from the top. They say they had a challenge getting through the fields to get to that silo. No injuries were reported. Firefighters are still investigating what caused it. The video went viral over the weekend. In it, 2 high school football players in Texas appear to sack a referee from behind on purpose. And now both of those players have been suspended indefinitely. Chris Martinez has the latest on the investigation.
The referee appears to be watching a play about to begin when a player runs at him from behind and tackles him to the ground. A second player then dives on top of him, helmet first. Monday, the Northside Independent School District in San Antonio, Texas, indefinitely suspended both players from football and school, pending an investigation, saying in a statement, "The video that we saw is extremely disturbing. It is not the good sportsmanlike behavior that we teach students." Local police say they're also investigating. They've made no arrests, but former police officer and criminal defense attorney James Reeves says he expects the players will face felony charges.
The problem in this case is the helmets could arguably be considered a weapon.
But Reeves and at least one high school parent say finding out why the boys tackled the referee is critical.
We need to figure out if it was actually an accident before we start throwing out charges and everything, because that's going to put 2 kids who may have not meant to do that or any harm in a situation where they're struggling for the rest of their life to live down something that they didn't mean to happen.
The school district says it will open its investigation Tuesday, interviewing students, coaches, and referees. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The governing body that oversees high school competition in Texas says it too will conduct a thorough investigation and will take appropriate action once the investigation is complete. Tonight, investigators say they still have a lot of work to do as they try to figure out what caused a large fire in downtown Hazard. The fire last Tuesday destroyed apartments and a restaurant. Dozens of people lost their homes. An ATF National Response Team made up of people specialized in fire investigation are now looking into that fire.
They're beginning to work different parts of the building, looking through the fire debris, trying to determine the progression of the fire and work their way toward what we expect to be an origin of a fire area.
Electrical engineers and fire protection engineers are also helping with the investigation. A Kentucky family had a vacation to the Smoky Mountains that they'll never forget. The Perrin family had been staying in a cabin around Gatlinburg and decided to go for a picnic. Well, on their way back, they noticed some bear cubs that wouldn't leave the side of their car and soon realized why.
So I looked in closer in the window and I could see the mama bear sitting there in the front seat. And that's when I told all of them that there was one inside.
Well, he decided to open the door and the mother bear inside the car ran off with her cubs behind. But the family says the bear destroyed the inside of their car. They think she was inside for about an hour. That is quite a vacation story.